is up, Cowboys Nation? I guess a somber, angry, frustrated, disappointed, confused. Not really confused. I can't use the word confused, but just ain't a good Monday, man. Ain't a good Monday. What's up, my man Doug? What's up, Steven? What's up, Chuck? Appreciate you guys rolling in. I know a lot of sad Cowboys fans, a lot of disappointed Cowboys fans, a lot of numb Cowboys fans, but now is, we call this Therapy Monday. That's what it's turned into. So I'm bunkered down in the cave for this Therapy Monday because it's just been that disappointing. But I could say, hey, not so bad. My Hurricanes handled their business. They beat Florida State. Should have beat them worse. They showed mercy on them, which kind of frustrates me, but it was fine. We beat the hell out of them, but had a great time down in Miami. Irvin was at our hotel, got to meet Bernie Kosar, was talking to Randall Hill. So he had all the old Canes out there. So it was a lot of fun. So Jimmy is hiding. I think he's disappointed with his Yankees, and he knows that he's got a game coming up against Cowboys and Falcons, so we can't be friends. But no, all kidding aside, he had a charity event, I think, that he's doing. There he is. It's a fundraiser golf event. That's more important than hanging out in the cave, but it's probably a good thing because it's not a good Monday. Not a good Monday for Cowboys fans, not a good Monday for me, and we just need to get through it. Very disappointed, to say the least, in that game. Cowboys started out pretty good, trying to find my thing. Started out pretty good, and just everything started to go south. And, they fall to the 49ers 30-24. Game was just kind of weird. I mean, the first half, it started great. I thought the Cowboys, this was a game, if you listen to my hype video, I don't have a big issue. I mean, I have an issue with the defense, but I'm just kind of like, I know what we got in our defense, what we're missing. This is a game Dak Prescott had to put on his shoulders, and he had to deliver a victory. I mean, that's what had to be done. I said that's the only way they were going to win. And Aaron Judge, it disappeared when it mattered most. And I know there's a lot of, there's Dak hate, and there's Dak apologist. You got to hold a man accountable. I mean, at some point, he has got to be held accountable. He has not played good all year. I understand the running game. Everything starts with the running game. Our lack of running game it's embarrassing, but especially when we all knew that we all knew we needed to fix that running game and we needed to do better. And then you see these guys that you never heard of, these rookies coming out. Like, what was the guy's name? I've got to look it up because I said I'd say it is Garendo, whoever the running back was for the 49ers, some no-name guy, but fresh legs in a rookie. Running back's a young man's game. They could have drafted somebody to get some young, fresh legs in here, and they didn't. The interception, 100%, Ultra. I mean, that killed the momentum. That was a dumb interception. He said it was, so I'm not saying anything he didn't already say. But I'm not going to put this on our defense. Hold on, I got to call for a second. And still lingering from this. I feel fine, but still got a cough. The rookie offensive lineman. I mean, I agree. This game is nothing more than, you need your superstars to step up. CeeDee Lamb, he put up some big numbers, and he played given the opportunity. Jalen Tolbert got three catches. He got 3 targets. I mean, he did what he needed to do when given the opportunity. But Dak Prescott has got to be smarter with the football. I don't know why he doesn't run anymore. There's opportunity that you can just get a first down, slide, live to play, another set of downs. He just does not look the same. Doesn't look comfortable. Looks just kind of not confident. And I don't know what it is. I'm not going to begin I'm not going to begin to speculate because I just don't know. But what I'm seeing on the field is not a very good quarterback. Not a very good quarterback. Yeah, I mean, the injuries on defense, I mean, it hurts. I mean, you can't Yeah, they're not going to be excuses because you see other teams with injuries. The 49ers had injuries on offense. They had guys nicked up, and they found a way to get it done. I mean, you've got to be able to step up and get it done. And if McCarthy doesn't want him to run, then that's a problem. And I'm not saying to run design runs, but when you can get a first down and you can get 5 yards and you can get positive plays, then you run and slide. I mean, I'm not asking you to bowl anyone over. I mean, Dak's a big dude. He's got to be about it. More worried about the marriage. You know, I told my wife that she wasn't happy with that comment, so I'm not going to say that. I'm not saying that. You understand what I said, Chuck? I'm not saying that. But you know, Mickey Goldmill once said, "Women weaken legs." I don't know if that's true or not, but you know, it's just was a frustrating game because it's been the same story. You know, that same story. It's been a broken record with the 49ers. You know, I dare embarrass myself by calling this a rivalry because in order for it to be a rivalry, you got to win. And the Cowboys have not been able to win. And then you see what happens in our division. Washington, I do not believe I think they're a nice story, but they're not a threat in any way, shape, or form to the NFC. I think they're a nice story. They're a scrappy team. I think the future is bright for them, but I'll stand by what I said. Pump the brakes. I mean, they were losing to a quarterback that through 3 quarters had 36 yards. They had a fluke play, and unfortunately, it was my Miami Hurricane. If you guys saw the replays of it, that wasn't paying attention, then ran over and basically tipped it in his hand, tipped it into former Cowboys' hand, which puts salt on the wound always. But the thing I would say, you know, in our division, and this pains the hell out of me to say it, but I was super impressed with the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles went up to Cincinnati and they beat them, and they look good. I mean, their offense looked good. Their defense played well. That's, you know, I think Dallas's Hail Mary shot, for lack of a better word, is a wild card spot. And I don't know how everything stacks up. I think the West is pretty bad. I think you're going to get one team out of there. I think the Chicago Bears are going to come down to reality. So you're going to get 2 wild card teams from there. And it really comes down to the South. And is Tampa going to be able to hang on? They lost both their wide receivers. I don't know what's going to happen with them. But the Cowboys' hope for anything is going to be a wild card. I just unless something crazy happens, I'm just not really confident. And this is the reason why. No running game. The Eagles have a running game. It helps. And San Francisco, I mean, they've lost McCaffrey. You know, they lost Mason. They bring in a rookie with some legs, some fresh legs, and they're still able to run the ball. Now, the Cowboys were able to run it early. But it just didn't sustain. They weren't able to sustain the running game. And we saw Dalvin Cook, and I mean, all right, we got our answer. He may not be the guy, but it's one game. I'm not gonna dismiss him yet. But I think, yeah, the Lions would be the odds-on favorite to me to win the NFC. They're head and shoulders above everyone right now. But here's what I would say. And I would just say you just got to look in history. And championships aren't won through 6 weeks. They're not won in 7 weeks. They're won over a course of time. If you're putting your reality glasses on, the Cowboys have not shown anything except in the Pittsburgh game that they're a playoff team. I mean, they beat the Giants, but they didn't look great in it. The defense played well, but I mean, it was the Giants. They beat up on the Browns early in the season. That was a good win. I don't care what anyone says on the road. The Browns are not the team that you know people thought they were. They're probably better off now. We're probably better off we played them then than now, because I think they're actually going to be better with Winston. So I'm just saying is the Cowboys are probably, you know, not in a good spot. No running game. Jerry Jones is said over and over, he's not making any moves. So this is pretty much what you got. You're playing with right now your fifth 6th, 7th defensive end, your 4th, 5th corner opposite Trayvon Diggs. It's just not good. It's just not good football. And, I could take it from the defense, like I said, but I have a hard time. I have a hard time taking it from the offense, even without a running game. And I think it's a problem, but I'm just saying Dak has not played well. And I would say not good decision making. I think he's, obviously you don't have Brandon Cooks. That doesn't help, but Tolbert's been fine. I'm not going to use the excuse he doesn't have enough weapons. I mean, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Jake Ferguson. I mean, Tolbert was, a top third round pick in his 3rd year. He should be ready to go. There's just no excuse. There's no excuse for it. And I know, Ultra, you've been saying rebuild. I'm not in that rebuild mode. It's during the season. Off season, we can talk about rebuild if that's where they're going. But this is the veterans on this team are not playing well. So you can rebuild all you want. Your quarterback's still the same. And some of your other veterans that are on the team are still the same. There's no rebuild that you're doing because everything is good. Is you live and die by your quarterback. It's a quarterback-driven league, and where he goes, the team's going to go. And Dak Prescott, he's been candid with it. He's got to play better. He's made no excuses. Wide receiver, but and absolutely. I mean, it goes hand in hand. Like I said, Dak gets his share of the blame, but he's not all the blame. That throw to Turpin was on the money. But then I'm looking at. No, I don't think he's better than Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith missed some games with concussions. If you're looking with your eyes, Ultra, there's no way in hell you're going to tell me that Devontae Smith is not better than Jalen Tolbert right now. I mean, Jalen Tolbert's fine, but I'm not going to be that way. But you're throwing, this is 3 minutes to go in the game. 3 minutes to go in the game. You got it. That's what I'm saying is like the Cowboys had the terrible 3rd quarter. You're coming back in the 4th quarter. As bad as everything was, you have the ball with 3 minutes to go in the game. And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm trying to remember everything. The first play should have been intercepted. I don't know where the hell he's throwing the ball. That gets you in 2nd down. Now you can work the ball down the field. You can work it down the field a bit. They take a big shot to Turpin. That one's dropped. So now, or maybe that was 3rd down. I'm trying to remember the scenarios. There was something happened, but ended up being 3rd down was Turpin. 4th down, you're throwing to Brooks. I mean, the game on the line, that's who you're throwing to. I mean, Michael Irvin would have been fighting somebody on the sidelines. So it is just, it's just bad. It's just not a good offense. I just don't see it. I'm not looking at targets and all that stuff. I am telling you, I'll look with these eyeballs, and maybe I need glasses, and I do have my glasses if I need them. Devontae Smith, right, is a better football player than Jalen Tolbert today. Now, maybe it changes. I don't know. I don't want to get into it. But Jalen Tolbert's capable. I don't know if you're saying, well, Jalen Tolbert's capable. If that's what you're saying, he's capable. I'm not making any excuses for Dak Prescott and weapons. So if that's what you're saying, Ultra, I don't disagree with you. If that's what you're saying, he's got weapons on this team. The problem, the big differentiator, if you will, is no running game. I mean, they've got Saquon Barkley. We don't have anything. And we started a little bit with the running game. We started, Zeke ran hard that early on, but then it just got away from us, and then it was gone. And you kind of bail out on the run a little bit. Game gets away a little bit, and that's the way it goes. They battle back. Give them credit for that. But you have the ball with 3 minutes to go. You got to be able to go down that field. And I know it's a tall task. I understand that. But you are the runner-up MVP. You are, and I hate to use this word, top quarterback. You are everything. You should be. Those are the moments that you've got to come up big. That's your moment to shine, and you got to come up big. And that's, you look at Cam Ward and McCain's. You could say all you want about McCain's. You could talk about the defensive struggles. You could talk about everything you want. But when the ball was in his hands and they needed to score a touchdown, that man went down the field with precision and leadership and went down and scored. And that's what we're just not seeing with the Cowboys right now. We're not seeing the confidence. We're just not seeing it. So I don't want to beat a dead horse. They're not going 5-12. I still think they're going to be a 9-10 win team. I still think they're going to have their shot in the playoffs. And that's all you can ask for is a shot. I mean, Green Bay was 2-5. The New York Giants won Super Bowls at 9-7. Green Bay Packers won their Super Bowl when they had to fight like hell to get in, and they had a rough patch, and it was a whole big, with Aaron Rodgers and McCarthy and all that. It's not the best teams. It's the hot teams, and that's what you got to be. You in a tournament, anything goes. All I want's an opportunity, and that's all you can ask for. But if this team don't turn it around, they're not going to get their opportunity. So I'm not a bail guy. It's not my DNA. I watch the games. I expect to win. I want to win, and that's it. And so Miami. And it's funny. My man Chuck, who are you a fan of, Chuck? Let's get this out in the open. That way I'm talking about the same guy. What's up, Chuck? Give me your team. You're talking about my Hurricanes. Give me your team, and we'll get that. We'll get that. Only good thing from the weekend. Let me see. Got to get healthy, no doubt about it. Is the Hurricanes win? Yes. Now there's my man Michael. But Chuck, I need you to tell me who your team is. That's what I need to know. You're coming on here. You're talking about my Canes, and I got Uncle Cheech who's going to be coming in. Uncle Cheech, you talk about Uncle Cheech. We may not see you in a few days. You understand what that means? If you watch Tulsa King, you watch The Godfather, you watch these kind of shows, that's what can happen to you if you disrespect the Canes in front of Uncle Cheech. So go ahead and tell me who your team is. What's up, Frankie? My man Frankie in Germany. Man, this guy stayed up and watched this game. He watched that debacle in that third quarter and just – I feel for you, Frankie, man. You're at 2 a.m, 3 a.m, whatever time it is, for you to have to. Yeah, Chuck. Tell me, Chuck. Give me the ranked team that they beat. Give me a ranked team that your Texas Longhorns beat. And I'll tell you this right now: Miami's strength of victory right now today is better than Texas. I got no disrespect for Texas. I like Texas. I think they're a good story. But don't go talking no shit. Talking about your team is so great, our team's shitty, we didn't play nobody, when you guys hadn't beat nobody. You beat a bunch of wannabes, you beat a bunch of overrated teams, you haven't done nothing. Our strength of victory is better. You beat UTSA, you beat the School of the Blind, you beat all these other jabronis, so don't be talking about that stuff. Yeah, it hurts, Frankie. It hurts for us. It hurts us. So, but anyway. Don't worry, Michael. I'll take care of this business. I've had enough of these Longhorns. But let's do this because I might need Vanderbilt, Michigan, and Oklahoma. None of them are ranked. If that's the way you're going to do it, then we beat number 10 Florida State. Because you're going to because of preseason rankings, some bullshit rankings. Michigan stinks. Oklahoma stinks. Vanderbilt's decent, but they're no better than Virginia Tech. So they're probably worse than Virginia Tech. You guys make me laugh. Oh, you SEC guys fucking play nobody. You got beat nobody. We beat an last season undefeated national championship team in Florida State that should have had the opportunity if their quarterback didn't go down. Give me a break. I like you, Chuck, but you're not there yet. You're not there yet. So anyway, UT beat Vandy. They're not ranked. I don't care what you say. They're not ranked. You understand what I just said? They're not ranked. They beat an unranked team. Today, they're unranked. If we're going in the past, then Miami beat the 10th ranked Florida State. Beat the hell out of them. So anyway. So all you guys, Ultra, I know you're Texas too, UTSA, all those shitty ass teams. I can go all day with Texas. All I know is the last time we played you, we embarrassed you. We had more penalty yards than you guys had yards. You understand what I just said? We had more penalty yards than you guys had yards, and we beat you 46-3 or whatever the hell that score was. I'm going to get Uncle Cheech on here. Let's see. Uncle Cheech, strength of victory. Miami strength of victory is better than Texas. You might not like it, but you will learn to love it. All you bunch of crybabies, your Texas team stinks. Couldn't even cover the spread. Uncle Cheech was right. He took it. But let's get Uncle Cheech on here. We'll see what's happening. Cheech, where you at? There you are, Uncle Cheech. You hear these guys talking about our Hurricanes? You believe this stuff?
Hey, we beat them by 3 touchdowns. Texas and Vandy, that was my upset special.
It was.
I took Vandy plus 18.5, and they barely beat them by 4.
That's the money I made all my money on down at the Hard Rock. I'm rolling with Uncle Cheech. If you guys saw it, we had a wonderful weekend in the presidential suite at the Hard Rock in Miami.
Oh, yes.
That's how we roll. We had a great time. You know, you saw Michael Irvin, Bernie Kosar, Randall Hill. We had all the alumni out. It was a beautiful day and more of a beautiful beating. I wish they would have beat them worse. I'm going to be honest with you. They covered the spread like you said they would, but I wanted a bigger beating. I wanted them to absolutely just give them an annihilation. Oh, did you?
Me too.
Yes.
But
yes.
they beat them by 3 touchdowns.
No, they did. They showed mercy. It was a mercy killing.
I'll tell you what, my best pick of the week last week, 6-0 Liberty against 0-6 Kennesaw State. And I was getting 24 with Kennesaw State, and they beat them outright. 24-point underdog.
Now, I got to ask you that. I was looking it up because I wanted to make a note of that. I got to ask you. Yeah, I mean, was it you? I mean, there was someone I talked to who had a system. I don't know if it was one of your partners. Maybe I was talking to him. He had a system about betting small schools home underdogs. Where you went into the bag of tricks, the archives to get this thing right? What'd you do?
It's hard for me. It's hard to find the spreads on these little schools, but it's what we used to do. If it was a home dog, good-sized home dog, like Kennesaw State was, put your money on them. They might not win, but they'll cover.
No, I mean, and
you're in it to make the money. You don't care who wins.
No. That's the way it worked. But we had a great time at the Hard Rock. We hung out.
I'm still recovering.
I know. I had to go.
I could watch the game last night. I dozed off. I was still exhausted from all the fun. We had French champagne, beautiful view.
Oh, it was awesome. It was
laid
awesome.
by the pool, watching all the ladies, rolling them bones. Beautiful time.
I saw you, Uncle Cheech, out there, and a lovely lady to your left and another one to your right. It was a beautiful thing, you know, and I got to say this is I realized that I'm the jinx for Uncle Cheech. I've played your lock 3 times. We tried to do a contest. I think it might have been 4 times, and we lost 3. I didn't play it last week. I said, I'm done with the contest again. And what happens? Your lock comes through. You end up 3-1, I believe. I mean, you've been on a tear the last 4 weeks. You're just, if you can send this love to our Cowboys, you're heating up. We're cooling down. We need something going on here. But I'm loving what you're doing, and you've got some great picks in the hopper this week. What are we starting with?
Houston at the Jets. I'm going to take Houston. They're getting 1 point.
That's
crazy. I don't know how they're not favored, but just terrible. Aaron Rodgers, he's washed up. I think Houston wins this game easily myself.
I mean, I would think.
I know it's a road game, but Jets looked terrible.
The Jets, I mean, they make the Cowboys look like Super Bowl contenders.
Oh,
they're
do.
having a lot of problems. I don't know if it gets fixed. Aaron Rodgers is talking about being in the dark, the dark space. I don't know what the hell he was talking about.
He's in the dark space, all right.
Yeah, he's actually lost it. Houston they've been cutting it close, right? Like they've had these moments, but they've always found ways to win. They're a good young football team. I think someone's saying that Diggs and Nico are out. If that's true, that could change things, Uncle Cheech. That could change things. Would that change anything for you? Or you?
Why the quarterback's in?
Oh, is the quarterback's in? You're good.
Yeah.
I stand by Uncle Cheech. I stand by Uncle Cheech. So you're gonna go with that one. But your next game is probably one of the great rivalries. Growing up in South Florida, this is all. If you want to go somewhere where there's a bunch of fights in the stands, this is the game to go to. And what do you got on this one?
Miami at Buffalo. I'm going to take Buffalo minus 6.5. Miami, even when Tua came back, they still stink.
Yeah.
Buffalo's playing good. I mean, they'll let the Cardinals march down the field, win the game.
And we were down there, and they had a Miami alumni, thing for Tim Bowens, and there was a lot of Dolphins there. And there was a lot of optimism. I was talking to a lot of people at the roulette table, and you're kind of getting the lowdown. And there was a lot of optimism with Tua coming back. They felt they got the offense. I just think that Mike McDonald, right? Mike McDonald, or I always say McDaniel. Mike McDaniel. Yeah, McDaniel. Mike McDaniel, I just don't know if he's a good football coach. I don't know. I don't know if he's a head coach material because they have a lot of talent. They just seem to be always underachieving. And I know they have a quarterback issue, but this is a game. Tua is coming back. You're the better team. You got to win it. And they just let Arizona go right down the field.
March down the field and took it away from them.
Yeah. So
I'll take Buffalo at home. I'll take them all day against Miami.
And I think Buffalo runs away with the division, right? They're running away with the division.
Looks like they're going to.
Yeah. So, and that's a funny thing. A lot of people thought this was going to be a down year for Buffalo, right? You lost Diggs, you lose a few guys, and now all of a sudden, hey man, they don't look so bad. They're it's addition by subtraction sometimes. So, your upset is an interesting one because the team that you've gotten this upset is one of the teams I said stinks. That Texas is bragging they beat this team like it's a big badge of honor. But your upset special is what?
Oregon and Michigan. I'll take the Wolverines plus 15.5.
15.5
at that stadium with all the noise and this and that. 150,000 people. I'll take a shot with that.
Yeah. No. I wouldn't.
Michigan's not a bad team.
They're not very good. I don't think
they're not that good, but they're not that bad that they could keep this closer than the spread. I don't think they're going to win the game, but I think they can cover.
Yeah, and I would just say, Steve, I love you, man. You're my man from the U. Washington. I don't think they're going to win the division. I said it earlier. The best team right now in my eyes is Philadelphia. Philadelphia will annihilate. They play Washington soon. They'll annihilate them. You understand?
I agree with you on that one. Now today they look good.
People talk about Dallas's defense being bad. Washington's defense is worse. Go look it up. I mean, that's saying something. Washington is smoke and mirrors. They had some wins against some really bad teams, and I'm not taking nothing away from them. I'm not hating on them. I think I said it before. I think their future is bright. I think they're going to get going. They're not ready yet. They're not there yet. They don't have the defense. Jaden Daniels, love him. I think, the poise and everything, you can't say enough good things about him. I love the culture change that they're doing in there. This has nothing to do against Washington, but the Philadelphia team that I saw last week will absolutely beat the hell out of them. And
Washington got lucky yesterday. Come on. Washington got lucky yesterday.
Yeah. And hey, they won, man. You can't hate on it.
Better to be lucky sometimes.
But I mean, Saquon Barkley would run for days against that defense. And I think Brown and Devontae Smith would annihilate him. I'm just saying. Nothing against Daniels. I do think they hit gold. I think he's better. Clearly, in that game, he was better than Caleb Williams, even though Caleb Williams he did some stuff in the end. Jaden Daniels, if he can stay healthy, he's frail. I mean, they got to be careful with him. But if he stays healthy, he's going to be a problem for the Cowboys and for this division, for the NFL, the NFC, for some years. So no hate on Washington. Don't go yelling at me, everybody that's rooting for Washington.
Where's your partner?
Jimmy's at it. No one does this much for charity as Jimmy. Maybe Bob Hope would. I don't know. But Jimmy, he donates his time to many charities. He's a family man. He's an upstanding citizen and member of the community. So he told me, hey, I got some charity stuff to do. I said, I'll hold it down. I got Cheech. It's when the Cowboys lose, it's easy to do a show. I mean, we could talk about this for 50 days. I mean, when the Cowboys lose.
You guys play each other this week.
We do, and he's a coward because he knows we play each other this week. And the thing I would say with Atlanta, I had Dallas 2-2 in this next 4 games, and we're going to get into it into the games. But I figured they'd beat Atlanta, and I thought they'd beat Philly at home, lose to Houston, lose to San Francisco, get healthy, see what happens, and try and make a run. I don't know if that's going to happen. Only time will tell. But your lock of the week, and this is a crazy thing. The lock of the week, this was, again, you're picking some heavy games. You didn't go deep into the well like you did before. This is one of the biggest games living in Florida. This was always one of the biggest games.
I like the big game.
This was always, I mean, when I saw the spread and you're making this your lock, I'm like, how the mighty have fallen through the years. But give us your lock of the week.
I'll take Georgia over Florida, and I'm going to give 16. I think Georgia's going to go in there and destroy him. Neutral field.
Neutral field.
Yep.
Yeah.
Georgia's still a good team. Florida's not a very good team. Yeah. I know it's a rivalry game, but so is our game Saturday. Still beat them by 3 touchdowns.
No, I know. No. And that is, that's a tough one because this is a game you look forward to, but Florida has not looked good. You hear the rumors that Florida State's going to move on from their coach. You got to think that Florida, his days are numbered.
I can't believe Florida State's talking that. I haven't heard that.
They were talking about it. Well, they've been talking about it a lot, but it heated up after the Miami game.
He has
85 million.
I think he's a good coach myself. He just happened to have a bad year, real bad year. But I liked him when he was at Memphis.
Yeah.
Did a good job up there.
Yeah.
Would have got him to the probably national championship game. They didn't lose their quarterback last year. I picked him to play for the national championship. I think he's a good coach. I think it'd be a mistake.
But his record without Travis is terrible. So, their demise only makes me feel better. And I say this, this is why I love college football. I mean, obviously I love my Cowboys. I love the NFL, but college football and what they've done to the playoffs and expanding it, I think it's just going to just get bigger and bigger. And I just think that it could overtake the NFL because you're looking at it and it's something that Kevin Gogan. Sorry, man, I was thinking of Kevin must have had Kevin Green on my mind. But I did a post and posted a thing on Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson, obviously coach of the Canes, coach of the Cowboys. He had the mindset. He had everyone feeling that they're going to win. They're the better team. They're always going to win. And let me find it. And Gogan said, he goes, people just say that like that's just that easy. But he had you believing in it, and you felt different, like you knew that somebody was losing and it wasn't going to be you. And I said, it's just a mindset of Jimmy Johnson. And a lot of people look like the Cowboys. It wasn't like, I was tweeting with someone, in 92, they weren't the best team in the NFL. San Francisco was. It was a changing of the guard. I mean, San Francisco was that favorite team, but Jimmy Johnson just had a way of making them believe. And he just always did that. He did it at Miami. And then, I was joking with him and I said, something about Jerry Jones. And he said, there's plenty of sports teams that turn a profit that don't win. It's gone away from the trophies to what Pink Floyd calls it money. So, you know what I mean? And I think professional sports, college get that way, but I think college, the kids still play for pride. Like you see it. You see the recruits out there. You see the kids on it. It matters to them. I get in arguments with people because you beat a 1-win team, go jump up and down and have a party. No, we didn't beat a 1-win team. We beat Florida State, our biggest rival, that no matter what it is, we want to beat them. Those kids, it means something to those kids. It means something to recruits. It means something to the alumni. It means something to the fans more than anything in the world. Because I promise you this, if Florida State would have beat us, their season would have been redeemed. They could go 2-10, and they're always going to look back and say, you know what, we beat Miami. That's what I love about college football. That's what I love about it. And I don't know if it's going to change because of the NIL money, but am I wrong, Uncle Cheech? What am I saying?
No, you're right. Absolutely right.
So,
Chuck, I had Boise State as my sleeper team. They still are.
They're still there. I mean, they're
Yeah.
still there. So
They're still there.
Absolutely. Yeah, and they're talking about that running back, and could he go to Dallas? I mean, we'll see. But I tell you what, I like those Miami running backs. I wouldn't mind seeing Martinez with a star in his helmet. That dude, he brings the pain. So I love college football. That's why obviously I love hanging with you, Uncle Cheech, and being able to talk some college football. You do a lot of college football picks. We hung out down in Miami. It's always good to go. We weren't able to go to the game. It was kind of just to tell people, because some people asked, hey, go to the game. Early in the season, before the season started, is when we were getting our tickets, and Florida State was 10th ranked. That's why they shouldn't do preseason rankings. Tickets were insane. So we're like, you know what? Let's just go down to the Hard Rock. We'll hang out with the Whales there. He's got VIP treatment. He's going to hook us. We will go into Penthouse, and we will just watch the game. There's a full bar. We got food. It was just, we had to rolling in the carts of all the great
Penthouse, 12th floor. They rolling in the champagne in the buckets with the fresh fruit, imported chocolates.
It was
just a beautiful thing.
It was
one of the best times I ever had in my life.
No, it definitely was. So it was good. You guys, you got the picks. If you want to recoup some money, I made a mistake this weekend. I did not do well at the roulette table. And rule number one that Uncle Cheech always tells you. What is it, Uncle Cheech? Tell him one more time.
Don't try to recoup your loss.
No, and I tried to recoup them that night after the game, and I just donated more. So I ended up making a donation. I justified it with some other reasoning, but it was a good time. And being able to hang out with the Whale and hanging out with Uncle Cheech and all our friends, there's nothing you could ask for more. So I appreciate Uncle Cheech. We got the picks. We're going to see what you do. Have a good evening. We'll see you later.
All right. Enjoy the game.
All right. Take care. Let's get your outro going. We'll see you. Oh, man. It's always good to have Uncle Cheech in the house. And you know what? We had a phenomenal time. But we'll get back to some of the business at hand. We'll get into some of this Cowboy stuff, see what you guys are feeling, see what you're thinking. But this was an interesting one, and it got a lot of buzz, was Trayvon Diggs, his media exchange that Mike Leslie, I think from, I forgot what media station, news station he's from. He basically put out a tweet, and I believe it was the Kittle run. Yeah, where he got out by the 2-yard line. And they were he was baiting Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon, my man, you fell for it. And unfortunately, you fell for the bait. And you gave this guy the run that he wanted and he needed. Trayvon Diggs really didn't have anything to do with the play. I mean, he ended up making the tackle. So I'm not really sure what he was trying to do. I know what he was trying to do, but he succeeded in doing it. But my man, Trayvon, I got to give him props. But we're going to talk about this situation because this is a deeper issue, is really just the whole thing. So let's get Trayvon's side.
After you took from that, you don't know football. You can't do nothing that I do. You can't go out there and do nothing. Stay in your lane, buddy. Stop playing me, bro.
Just asking a question, Trayvon. I mean, I'm happy to have you answer the question.
That whole play, that's what you took for that? That's what you got from that whole play, that's what you got from that?
I'm asking you. We can talk about it more. What were you doing then?
No, he said talk about these nuts. So I mean you gotta get a laugh at him. So I give kudos for Trayvon for that, but not a good look. Not a good look. You just lost the game. I'm trying to understand how quickly that was, because I mean, I guess you look at your phone when you run into the locker room to see what people are saying about you, and someone either told him or he saw it in the mentions on Twitter or whatever. But it shows these guys, they all say they don't look, but they all read social media. It's kind of the way of the world today, a little bit different than years past. But yeah, let me see. My man Rick's he's got inside. Story behind Diggs, I heard from Inside Cowboys that Diggs was looking at his phone because his Diggs got hurt. His family texted him Leslie his tweet, so he had to respond. All right. Well, thank you for that insight. That makes me feel a little bit better, because I'm like, are these guys just running after getting beat, looking at their phones and trying to look at stuff? I didn't know his brother got hurt. So that makes sense. Still don't justify him going out there. But to me, it's the bigger picture. And when I talk about culture with the Cowboys, this is what I'm talking about. It starts at the top. When you see Jerry Jones and you see the way he acts to the media, and you saw it recently and all this kind of stuff, then shit, man, if boss man, the man at top can do it, why can't I? And I just think it's a bad look. Doesn't show, the leadership that you'd think you'd have. It shows that the locker room, there is some internal issues with these guys. Reading the headlines, feeling the pressure, all the things that go with it. I've always said they got to have that us against them mentality, because you're going to constantly get bombarded by the media all the time. You're always going to be in the headlines, good or bad. If the Cowboys win against Atlanta, I guarantee you that's going to be the headlines on all the shows the next day. That's just the way it is. If they lose to Atlanta, they're going to be on the headlines too. And you'd say, well, why would they even talk about it? They'd be 3-5. They'd be pretty much, they'd be in a world of trouble, even to get to 500. And they sell, and the media and these players got to know they can't fall for the traps. They can't take the bait, and they took the bait, and it's just a bad look for him. And you just think about everything with the organization, and I don't mean to put it on Jerry. And the players are responsible. The players are out on the field. So I don't do wins and losses based on Jerry Jones. I mean, the players, they have their opportunity to do it. They have their opportunity to make it. So Des Bryant, he tweeted out, Jerry needs to wake up and fire everybody. And that's great. Fire McCarthy, fire the coaches, do whatever you got to do. But what are you going to get? And you just got to look in history. And this is why I don't really hold McCarthy, to blame. Look at the history with Jerry Jones. He anoints the coaches for the only ones he didn't was Parcells and Jimmy Johnson. The other ones he did. He either said, here's your defensive coordinator. We're going to keep the staff the same. The coach had no power. When Wade Phillips got hired by the Cowboys, they already hired Jason Garrett as the offensive coordinator before they even hired Wade Phillips. I mean, you're basically undermining your coach at the very beginning. You look at Mike McCarthy. We all knew Mike McCarthy didn't want Kellen Moore. He never coached. You want your own guys. And what was it? Kellen Moore is your offensive coordinator. That's what you got. So, you're never going to get the coaches like Ben Johnson. Hey, man, that sounds great. But is Ben Johnson, is he going to be allowed to do what he needs to do to set his staff up to run it the way he wants? Not the way Jerry Jones wants it, the way he wants. And that's always going to be the problem in Dallas. And that's why I always say they have to win in spite of them. It has to be us against them. Coaches, staff, it's got to be us against them. And that's the only way they'll win. I mean, this formula has been the same and the results have been the same. So there's no surprise. I mean, I'm not, no one's floored and surprised by some of the things that you see, that happens with Trayvon Diggs. It's like, it's another day in Dallas. Jerry always says he loves publicity, good or bad. Put him in the headline. It's good for the team. But I think you're reaching a boiling point with the fan base. And, you've got this fan base in my age bracket that, I remember the 90s very well. I remember the 80s, and they were always competitive and a good football. And we've been competitive too, during these times. But the lack of championships, but it's really the distraction. And just when you're seeing this, everything that's going with it, it's like, man, do I really, everyone works hard for the money. Is this the money I want to spend? I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to less games than I went to last year because it's really not that fun. I mean, what you're seeing in the circus atmosphere that it's been this year, that's not, for me to drop $300 on a flight, my tickets, and which I've already, their season tickets, so I paid for them, your hotel and all that. Do I want to go to 6 or 7 games? No, I'm going to going to the Texans game. Primary reason I'm going to the Texans game is Mike Tyson and Jake Paul are fighting that Friday night. And guy in my age bracket, Mike Tyson, that's a bucket list. I'm going to get some cheap tickets, and my son and I are going to go in there, and we'll make a good weekend out of it and go see the Texans on Monday. I'm going to Thanksgiving. I'm going to Thanksgiving Day primarily because my wife and daughter are going up to New York. My daughter's cheering in the Macy's Day Parade. It's a great experience for her. So she's going to do that. My wife knows I hate parades. I hate crowds, even though I go to Cowboy games. So my son and I are going on Thanksgiving. And then I'm going to Carolina. I'm going to Carolina because there's a lot of Cowboys Nation going there that I'm friends with. And I want to go and have a good time. So that's all I'm going to this year. The other tickets I've sold. And say what you want, whatever way you want to put it. But that's what's happening with a lot of these fans is, and it's not that I can take losing. I mean, I have no problem, man. I've been through the hardest times at Dallas. I went to the COVID years that we went to games and this and that. I don't have it, but I'm going to save my money for other things. I'm saving my money for other things that your everyone's resources and everyone's budget. You got to stay within your budget. So that's a choice, and it's not watching them get blown out. That doesn't bother me. I mean, I don't like to lose, but I've been to some bad Cowboys teams. I drove to Atlanta to watch Ryan Leaf lead the Dallas Cowboys against the Michael Vick led Atlanta Falcons. I went to Tampa to watch one of the best defenses in NFL history go against Quincy Carter. I don't have any problem. I'm a Cowboy fan I'm support my team. I have no problem with it. It's just the circus that it's starting to become this season. It's just not fun. I mean, it's just you lose the fun of it. So, but I still believe in the team. I want this team to win, but it's getting harder and harder to find a path, for victory. And Chuck, if you are there Thanksgiving, give me a holler. Get in on Wednesday. And we leave morning. So if you're around Wednesday, let me know, or even Thursday. And then I am going to the Bucs game. I do apologize. So I am going to one more game. I'm going with my wife. I forgot we have a game we're going to, which is the Bucs game, and then we're going with some friends. So we're going with like 4 or 5 different people. So that's going to be a good time. So yeah, Cam Ward. I love that Cam Ward, that halftime speech. If you guys, I retweeted it. I mean, that's what you watch that and you love college football, but you can see the leader that Cam Ward is. All you guys can hate on Miami. I really don't care. Cam Ward's special. He's special. So, yeah, no, it was. I saw that on ESPN since Troy Aikman in 92. Oh, by the way, that was a Super Bowl year. So, but Dak Prescott is not playing like a Super Bowl quarterback. He's not playing like a Super Bowl quarterback. And my man PJ sold all the tickets past our hotel bookings. I mean, and that's, and I know PJ, and you're talking about a loyal season ticket holder for that many years. You're, when you see your team, and it's not your team, because I support the players. I always support the players. I don't care who's out there. I'm always going to support the players. But when you see ownership and you see your general manager just sit back and not, give you the same lip service and not address areas of concern, at least attempt it, at least sell us on it, at least do something. But then you see the Kansas City Chiefs, who have Mahomes. They signed Christian. They got they got a lot of stars on their team. They've got their own cap stuff, but they go out and they continue to make moves. They go get a wide receiver. They go get a defensive end because they feel that it needs to, to get better. They need to be even better. That's what I want to see. That gets me charged up. That gets me hyped up. That makes me say, you know what? Let's get that Learjet fueled up. We got no problem with it. We're going out there and we're going to ride with these Cowboys. That's what I see. That's what this team is missing. And it's really, it's unfortunate. Yeah, we saw that. We saw that one today. is special. Yeah, Cam Ward's going to be. I love Cam Ward. Sometimes he scares me because he moves around too much. I think Shador's a good quarterback too. The thing with Shador that worries me is just everything around him. I just don't know if he's too big, if that makes any. And is he gonna be focused on winning? I mean, you saw Anthony Richardson. He's coming. What would you do? What would you do as a fan? You think about it. Anthony Richardson says he needs to come out of the game because he's tired. He's tired. He's the starting quarterback. He needs to come out and sit a couple plays because he's tired. So, just blows my mind. I hope Cam Ward stays in Miami. I would love to see him in Miami. I know he's not going to Dallas. Dallas just re-signed their quarterback, so it wouldn't make any sense. I do not want to see him going to New York, and I think New York would take him. If given the opportunity, I think New York would take him. So I would love Cam Ward to stay in my. I would love for him to stay in Miami. Jerry loves Romo. Nussmeier is a Tony Romo with more athletic ability. His name to watch. They can move on from Dak in 2025. Yeah, when Dak was a free agent, I was honest with everybody. I love Dak. I like Dak, but if they didn't want to pay him and they moved on, it didn't bother me. As long as you have a plan, as long as you're going to have something, there is something to be said with quarterbacks on low contracts. The interesting one's going to be Purdy. I don't know if San Francisco is going to pay him. I think Shanahan is going to believe that he can just put another quarterback in there and not miss a beat. And he's been able to do it. He's proven that he's been able to do it. So that one's going to be interesting to see with Purdy because he is not, he hadn't gotten paid yet. And after this year, that'll be this fourth year. That's when it's going to happen. So it'll be very interesting to see what the 49ers do. I think a lot will play out how they finish. If they end up in the NFC Championship game, then his hands may be tied and they just may have to pay him. And that's the other thing too, is Dallas is 3-4. The last two times San Francisco's, they've been 3-4 the last two of the last 3 years. This was 3 of the last 4 years, and they were in an NFC Championship 2 of those years. There's a lot of football left. I don't know if this team's good enough. Right now, they don't look like they're good enough, but there's a lot of football left. You just got to play the games, and you just got to see what happens. You just got to see what happens. So we will see. I don't think Jerry cares. I don't think he gives two shits about, the way he was to those guys on the radio. I just kind of lost, and I like Jerry. I think Jerry's a good dude. I think he's, he means well. I think he's a great owner. I think he's done a lot for the league. He's done a lot for the Cowboys, but like a lot of billionaires, like a lot of owners of football teams sometimes that want to wear a lot of hats, he's got a lot of pride and he's got a big ego, and pride and ego are two bad things to have as a general manager. You cannot be knee jerk. You got to be very methodical in how you think, and you've got to be reasonable in what you say. And I just don't know if he's that. And, you look at like a John Lynch, you look at him as a GM and what he did in San Francisco, you kind of seeing, some of the stuff that Washington's doing. You see, obviously, everything Kansas City's doing. You see some of these organizations, you don't really hear, you don't even know who the damn owner is. And most of them, you don't even know who the GM is. Jerry, he has a press conference after every game. He's on the radio 2 times a week. He has a lot to say. He tells you who the players who are starting. It's not the coach that tells you. He does. It's too much. It's too much. And it creates a culture. And what you see is what happens with a Trayvon Diggs. It's when you see those things start to happen, that's what you end up with. And it's disappointing. It's disappointing. But that's just the way it is. And you just wish there was a buffer. You need a buffer between, the two. And you can't, he gets close to the players. You always have to have that barrier. And that's what was always good with the GM. It's good cop, bad cop. Owners this, the GM. And you saw the thing in, with the Giants. And that went to bite him in the ass, didn't it? Is the owner was like, please, Barkley, we got to keep Barkley. The GM played the villain got rid of him, and they're paying for it. They're paying for it dearly. They're paying for it dearly. I don't know. I wasn't in the room, so I'm not 100% sure if Jerry said that. I don't know. If he did, he did. Whatever. I think Jerry on the draft, I do think he listens to his draft people, which is Will McClay. But what Jerry's job is free agency. He said he made all decisions stop with him. So ultimately, he has the final say in it. So whatever someone influence him, he has the final say. But he can influence the contracts. He can influence the free agents and things like that. And he has not done a good job in, the process that they've done has not worked. And there's sometimes you got to tweak things, but I don't think he wants to. Same thing like I said about running back. He has dug his heels in saying that they're fine at running back when everybody and their brother, mother, aunt, uncle, nephew, cousin, grandfather, you'd have to be just absolutely blind not to know that the Cowboys running game's a problem. And he's still digging his heels in. And, it's just frustrating. It's frustrating, but let's start wrapping this thing up a little bit. We're going to be live on Wednesday. We're going to have a little kind of collab show with some friends of ours. We've been meaning to do it. We're supposed to go on their show. Things kind of got messed up. So Kelly and I are going to have them on our show. So we're going to get in to Atlanta. We'll look back a little bit on San Francisco, but I've kind of beat that down. I mean, really looking at the next 3 games. And I know there's a lot of negativity, and I know we're going to lose the next 3 games. That's the way it's going to be. I don't necessarily think so. I'd love to see, is Parsons going to be there for Atlanta? Is Bland going to be there for Atlanta? Cooks we know is not till Philadelphia. I'd love to see if some pieces come back. I said the 4 games, which I include the San Francisco, they had to go 2-2. 3-1 would be a dream. 2-2, hang at 500. Then you get kind of an easier part of your schedule. And if they're going to make a run to get 10-7, then or 11 and whatever 6 or whatever it ends up being that they need to be 9-8, whatever it is that you need to get in the playoffs, then at least they go. They got their shot. And if they're healthy going in, then you roll the dice and anything happens in the playoffs. You just look for your opportunity. So these 3 games are going to be critical. I could say if they drop to Atlanta, it's going to be difficult because I just don't know if they got the team to beat Houston. As bad as pains me to say that. I think these next 2 games are the ones they got to win. You got a rival at home. You got to beat your rival at home. If you're going to any chance of any playoffs, and you got to beat your rival at home. And Atlanta, they're going to have to play one. Now, Atlanta did not look great against Tampa. There was actually, I live in Tampa, so I watched the news. There was I didn't see the game because I was driving back, but Kyle Pitts had a play in the end zone. Clearly was a fumble. They showed another angle that the local TV had, and it was a fumble, but they got it a touchdown. Maybe they would have won. Maybe they wouldn't have. I don't know. I don't know even when that happened, but Atlanta is a very, very streaky team. If they're hot, they're going to be a problem. If they get a little funky, Cowboys have a shot. It's going to be like a home game. The Cowboys typically take over that stadium. So it's not going to be in a hostile environment where it's going to be all crazy or anything like that. So they're going to have their opportunity. Steve said they're losing all 3. They're losing all 3. Whoops, I didn't see it. My man Mikey says they at least beat Philly. So, 1-3 is not going to get it done. They're going to have to, of these 2 games, they got to go 2-1. They got to go 2-1. If they don't, then I will get with Ultra and he can come on and he can do his draft board of who we need to get because the season will be done. But anyway, it's about that time. Playoff baseball is coming on. Appreciate all you guys, 150 you guys hanging with me on a very somber Monday. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit the subscribe. I didn't do it. I'm the worst when I'm by myself. But hit that subscribe, hit the like, hit the share on your way out. If you're watching us on Twitter, slide on over to YouTube, hit that subscribe, hit the like. I'm not going nowhere. I'm Dallas Cowboy for life. I will come Wednesday, I'm going to have you guys believing that we are going to beat Atlanta. I'm going to have it in your mind All you guys' predictions are going to be coming through saying we're going to win. I'm going to make believers out of you one way or another, but we're going to have some fun if it don't happen. I love Cowboys Nation. I love all you guys. I love everyone I've been able to meet. Hopefully get to meet more of you guys again. I will be at the Texans. I'll be at Tampa. I'll be at the Panthers. And I'll be at the Giants on Thanksgiving. So I got four opportunities. That's 4 wins. So we're 3-4. That puts us at 7-4, right? So all I need the Cowboys to do is just win 3 more games. Finish 10-7. That'll get you in the playoffs. So find me 3 wins. I'm not going to any. I'm going to one of these games. So they'll win that one. Give me 1 more win out of the next 2, or give me 2, and then, man, we are home free, and we gonna make this thing happen. You guys have a good time. Do not let, it's football. I mean, we love our team. Don't let it ruin your week. There's a lot of positive things. Life is short. You guys know my man Danny, big Cowboys fan. He passed away. Tomorrow's not promised. So, we're thinking of you, Danny. But you guys just remember that, man. Live for the day. Enjoy it. Don't let Jerry Jones or these Cowboys bring you down. We gonna be all right. Yeah, if he catches it, it changes things. If Dak didn't throw the pick, it changes things. There's a lot of things that can go on. Carl, what's up? I just kind of saw you on there. I know you say go Falcons. You missed it. I was giving you guys some love. I got to go, but I was giving the Eagles love. Very impressed with that win against Cincinnati. They've got some internal issues, but if they're able to control it, they're going to be the team to come out of the NFC East the way it shapes up right now. But we've got 10 weeks of football left. We're not even halfway through the season. A lot of football left. Got to get healthy. Guys are going to get hurt on other teams. Let's just roll it. Let's go week to week, see how it works out. Cuts, I was very disappointed. My cut did not arrive on Saturday. Didn't arrive on Monday. I was hoping to have it set up to take a nice picture from a Canes victory. Not your fault. The post office has screwed me over, but hopefully it'll be there tomorrow. So it'll be waiting at my doorstep. So I appreciate everyone. Cowboys Nation, thank you. Hit that subscribe, like, share on your way out. You guys take care. We'll see you on Wednesday. Peace out.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need some.